Disney sabotaged the release of Captain America 4 Brave New World. What if I told you that Disney has no idea what they want to do with Sam Wilson? Matter of fact, what if I told you that Disney actually hates Sam Wilson as a character? If you sit back and really think about it, we've had Sam Wilson in the MCU for about 10 plus years now, with his first appearance being in Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
It's only now that he's getting his own solo movie. Before that, it was just a TV show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And that's also where I think a lot of Sam Wilson's problems within the Disney regime comes in.
But in order for all of this to make sense, we gotta talk about how we get here. Welcome to another episode of Kaylex Encounter, and if you've been here before, the year is 2019 and Avengers Endgame is in theaters, and the big reveal at the end, Sam Wilson finally gets that shield and we're getting a brand new Captain America. And after all of the adventures that Steve and Sam has been through, it was only right, and so they followed that up with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. For some reason, there are so many people out there that hate this show, but this is also where we start to see cracks in how Disney doesn't know what to do with Sam Wilson as a character. One of the things that I love the most about this show, and one of the things that the showrunner even spoke about, was that they broke down the machismo idea of these action superheroes. And I think that's why Sam's character really shines.
Kari was able to make us less macho and put machismo in the series with all the fighting, but also show the emotional construct that makes everyone an individual.
He's a man that really cares about his country and wants to make sure that the little guy is okay. He's a counselor for veterans, and it only made sense that in this show we deconstruct how he feels about carrying that shield. I really like the themes in this show and how it showed the dynamic between Bucky and Sam post Steve Rogers. But my biggest issue with this show wasn't necessarily the show itself, it was with Disney. This show should have been its own movie. I feel like the events that went down in Falcon and the Winter Soldier were too big for us to just get it on a TV show. I feel like not enough people saw it, and so this movie was met with a whole bunch of questions that would have been answered had people just watched the damn TV show. And I blame that on Disney not trusting Sam Wilson to be able to get the job done. They thought they needed some sort of primer to get people to sit down in theaters. And what was the most frustrating thing was that before this movie even came out, it was filled with controversies. The movie got pushed back at least 3 times. Then the movie went through a title change, going from New World Order to Brave New World. But then it came out, they went on to hire multiple new writers and did reshoots for about 4 whole months.
I don't know if anyone remembers this, but around 2014, Marvel announced their Phase 3 slate, with the first movie being Captain America 3: The Serpent Society, but was later cut and repurposed into Captain America: Civil War. The year is now 2025, and it seems nothing has changed, with Marvel cutting what seems to be most of the movie. Originally, the Serpent Society played a major role in Brave New World, with set photos of Seth Rollins and Rosa Salazar in full costume portraying Diamondback and King Cobra. That is, until they were later cut from the film and replaced with Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder for a minimal role as the society's leader.
My name is Gustavo, but you can call me Sus.
Not only that, but McDonald's managed to jump the gun and release the toy line for the movie almost a year in advance, spoiling what could have been, but inevitably never happened. Which is sad, because I was excited to see Seth Rollins and a more comic accurate Serpent Society actually using their powers.
And then a rumor came out that this movie cost $500 million. And this came out of thin air. No verifiable sources, just vibes. And this is exactly why I say that Disney hates Sam Wilson as Captain America. I think both Sam Wilson as Captain America and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow had a hard time in the MCU finding their footing. Marvel should have gave Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow a movie a long time ago, but it seemed like they didn't have the confidence to do so.
I mean, at this point, we should know it's a common trend with Marvel and Disney. They have these characters that they like to just play around with. Hulk has been in the MCU since the start, but it seems like every time he makes an appearance, they give us a reason not to care for the character.
Bruh.
Now, Sam Wilson was a natural progression into becoming Captain America, and as time went on, I really liked the idea of Sam Wilson as Captain America not having the serum, because it increased the stakes, and you could definitely see that in the film. There are moments where I'm terrified for Captain America because it's possible for him to get taken out. But while there was a lot of really cool things in the movie, it seemed like they were pulling their punches on Sam Wilson. It was as though they felt like the audience wouldn't appreciate Sam Wilson if he was authentically himself. For example, remember when earlier in the video I mentioned he was a counselor for veterans?
Sam, you know, being a soldier and being a veteran, being a counselor, he realizes that as a people, we're all Americans. I'm not black Captain America. Steve wasn't white Captain America. He was solely Captain America. So as a society, as a country, we need to realize that all the people who are citizens here on this soil, no matter what their origins are, they're Americans.
And one of the things that has seemed like Disney dropped the ball on is his relationship with Isaiah Bradley.
I used to be like you until I opened my eyes, until I saw men in the red tails, the famous 332, fight for this country, only to come home to find crosses burned on their lawn.
Now, we meet Isaiah Bradley in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and even then, I don't think we got to spend enough time with him. When you look at the marketing for Captain America Brave New World, it's littered with Red Hulk, to the point where by the time you get to sit down and watch the movie, you kind of already know what's going to happen, and you're just waiting for the Red Hulk to appear. And that's not fair to Sam Wilson as a character. And so when you look at the old set photos, it kind of makes you wonder what could have been. Deep down inside, the frustrations with this movie and why it looks like Marvel doesn't know what to do with Sam Wilson is because the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show should have been what we've gotten on the big screen. By us not getting the Serpent Society and then instead getting Hulk villains instead, yeah, cool, we get to tie up loose ends from the old Hulk movies, but we are watching a Captain America movie, and I kind of really wish that we got to see him go head to head with the Serpent Society. One of the coolest things of watching Sam Wilson on the big screen was seeing how he was actually a really good leader, and we should have went into that a little bit more. I love how Sam Wilson's Captain America was actually the captain of a team. And that's something I really wish I saw more of. Like our own little mini Avengers, but it's the military. And so had they just kept the Serpent Society as the main villains, we could have gotten that and continued to get that political thriller spy espionage to it. While I enjoyed watching Captain America Brave New World, I couldn't help but think that Disney just dropped the ball on this slightly, because Sam Wilson is a much more complex character, and it just felt like Disney didn't know how to write it, and it just felt like Disney didn't trust the audience to fully embrace this character. The biggest frustration to me with this movie was that we've already seen it before. If you're a Captain America movie fan, you've already seen these story beats take place in The Winter Soldier and Civil War. And so I was kind of a little bit bummed out that Isaiah Bradley was also going through some sort of mind control the same way that Bucky was going through it. The whole thing of going on a road trip and uncovering a secret lair of a secret villain. It was like we've already seen all of this before, and I really wish we got to see more of Sam Wilson in flight, in his new costume, leading a team. When you watch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, they do such a good job emphasizing Sam Wilson as a human being that by the time we get to the movie, it's like they almost erased all of that. They ignored most of that character progression. Overall, I don't think this was the best Marvel film in the world, but it was actually very enjoyable. But one of the things that I hope is that we get to see Captain America again in his own movie, where he actually gets to lead a team and be a real character. Something about him felt very one-dimensional, and that's just not what he deserves. And that's exactly why it feels like Disney just hates Sam Wilson as a character. You ever sit down ready to watch a movie, and then instead you're just scrolling for 30 minutes to the point where it's like, you know what? You don't even want to watch a movie anymore. We created a movie recommendation list with 150 plus movies, and they're separated by mood. So no matter what mood you're in, you'll be able to find a movie. The link is in the description. It's free to download, or you could donate what you want, but it helps keep the channel running, and we'll see you in the next encounter.